remember the girl that sat down next to me on the bus. I remember her boyfriend that was standing next to her, and I remember the bus getting very, very crowded. And I remember for a second looking outside, and the bus stop in this area is not just for one bus. There's probably 10 or 12 buses that stop there. So there were hundreds of people outside the bus stop, and when the bus comes, everyone pushes to get on. So I really just saw swarms of people outside. And when the bus started moving, I had just hung up with my friend. I went to put my phone away, and as I put my phone into my bag and I was looking down, I felt a huge shockwave. And my body was being pushed backwards against the seat, and I remember trying to lift my hands up, and my hands were being pushed down. And because I was looking down in my bag, my eyes had closed when he detonated. So when the blast stopped, I couldn't open my left eye at all because it had been swollen shut by something that had hit it. And my right eye I could barely open, just enough to see the man's head in front of me, and he wasn't moving, and the roof of the bus had slightly fallen in. And then I started screaming. At that point, I had a shrapnel wound that went through my left shoulder, breaking my clavicle bone, so that's why I had to go into surgery. Both my eardrums had been blown from the impact of the blast. My hair was burned, my face was bruised and burned, my legs were cut up, and I have 2 pieces of shrapnel in my mouth. They're inoperable. And that's lucky because unfortunately some people come off with missing limbs and some people don't come off at all. But instead of focusing on that, my attitude was to take advantage of every opportunity in front of me and to know that I'm here and that I can be a voice for others that aren't able to speak about what happened to them. So for example, when I was released from the hospital, the first thing I did, because I had worked with victims previously in volunteering, I didn't return to the States with my family right away. I stayed an extra 5 days, and every day I went home, but the doctor said I could only be out for about an hour. So I went one day out for lunch, I went to visit friends for a day, and the last day that I was there, I walked from King George Street up Yaffa where the attack happened with a friend of mine, because I walked those streets every day when I lived there, and I didn't want to be afraid to come back. My goal was that if I didn't return to Israel, the terrorist wins. So that sort of started the precedence of what I felt in terms of not why me, but what can I do with what happened? And I spent time speaking in Washington, D.C., to political and community leaders, trying to have them understand what terrorism does and the effects of it and what we could be doing more to prevent it. So that was really my goal, just to help people, help those that had been through terrorism, help myself, and help anyone who had helped me through the experience. The best way for us as victims to combat the terrorism is to come together and be a support for each other so that we can help each other move forward with our lives. Because the more we move forward, the more we see that what the terrorists did, they didn't succeed in doing. Because if we don't move forward, then that's what the terrorists want from us. The first thing I wanted to do was to find other victims who had been in attacks in Israel, because I wanted people who understood what I had been through. So I've always, over the years, tried to connect with as many people and anybody that had survived a terrorist attack or a bereaved family member, just to say, I just want to be a friend. I just want to be a support to you. And, it's amazing sometimes that we always, at least for me, I want to give the support, but I've gained so much more in the support from every victim I've met around the world. So I want to be a resource to everybody and anybody, to know that they're not alone, that there's somebody that understands what they've been through, and that it's going to get better, and it's with the help of support of people that have been through the same thing that's what's going to help you to become stronger. I rather focus my energies on helping those that have been directly impacted by terrorism, so that way they can be empowered to live their lives and combat what they experience. And I think that's the best way to let the terrorists know that they haven't won. So I think that's probably my thinking, and how to send a message to them as opposed to sitting in front of them to discuss, because I'm not sure that it would really get anywhere. We're all survivors. Everybody who has survived a terrorist attack is a survivor, but in order to become that survivor, you were a victim of terrorism first. For me, it's a second chance at life, but it's more than that. I have to make sure that because I had that second chance, that I'm doing everything that I should be doing to make a difference. So for me, that tenure was really a turning point as a victim, to know that I need to plan my next stages of what I'm doing to make a difference in the world, to make it better. We need to do something. And so we need to realize that the education is key at a young age. If these young people are taught what's right, they're not going to get taken in by the terrorists' ideas of what could be for them or the benefits in what they're doing. They'll already have within them that value and that sense of that they shouldn't be doing that. So that to me is probably the most important thing. Be empowered to be here with each other and to be able to do something together. There's strength in numbers. And I think it's really important for us to set that example for the world to see that we might have gone through something like this, but that doesn't mean we're going to let them destroy us. And so by being here together and being in Spain at this most difficult time, we're showing that we're together and united against the hate.